healing love.
Thank you. Good morning. That prayer was beautiful. That pretty much says it all. So let's go have coffee. Let me take you all in. It's good to be home. I just got back last week, and I still have a little. Before I left, I had jet lag, and now I have jet lag. Because some of you might have been at the services, and prior to our journey into Europe, there was 8 of us that took a journey. And Reverend Mary did something that surprised me, because for some reason that the week before we were to leave, my knee blew out. And she brought me forward. And that was one of the most awkward moments for me inside internally, to stand before you with such woundedness and be prayed for. Awkward, but also opening, and one of the most beautiful experiences I had ever witnessed. I love this community. I pour my love out to each and every one of you, always, to receive that back, to see hands held up, and to humble myself enough to be worthy to receive that was awesome. And I was healed. And I carried my cane through the airport, but the next day on our journey, when we were set to keep up with the group, I had my Fitbit on and I tracked in, 7 miles. And I had a gimp, but I kept up. And I was continually thankful for all of you, for the hands that spread that love. So it's so timely, because this group of 8 is so important for you to engage with, because it's not only about prayer, it's about engaging with community in such a way that you are forever supported, always. There is a love, there is a profound love that is the healer. And that's what this whole month is talking about, our wholeness. And so to tap in to that love, to that depth of love, we have to get out of our own way. I had to sit in that spot and cling to Mary as the prayers were expressed, and to watch the seeds of unworthiness that were bubbling up through, and say, even though this is challenging for me, I accept this love. So every time we're praying for one another, the invitation is to sit, even though I'm having these feelings, I accept this grace, this love, this deep knowing. And you know, it's challenging to speak to this, because we don't even recognize in our subconscious what words are coming up, bubbling up forth, that are causing us to wall off, to seal off, to say, oh, not me. That's for somebody else. Let me do it for somebody else. No, each and every one of us has the power to receive this grace, this good. And it's all about cultivating this level of absolute love. And as I was preparing this idea of cultivating love, there was a quote from a Greek physician way back in the early 1500s, and he said, Paracelsus, he says, the main reason for healing is love. Now, that love is a directive force. That love that we speak of is the agape love. It is the metta in the Buddhist tradition. It is the bhakti in the Hindu tradition. It is agape in the Christian tradition. It is that vast love. It is not a romantic love, a needy love. It is a great, vast love that we sink into. Call it what you will, it is filled with grace. And that's what we have built here. That's what this center is. It's a beacon of light and a calling forth of a greater love to hold in each and every one of us. And there's stages of this cultivating love. We need to reduce the barriers to that love. And there was a phenomenal moment after those two services before I left, and Mary's Love offered those prayers in both services, which was also another surprise. I got through the 9 o'clock, and then she did it again. And I was like, again. And yet I could weep with it. And then there was a woman that came up to me afterwards. I had met her at the Holistic Fair, but she said, I don't know why I just came today. I don't know why. But I've never been here before except for the Holistic Fair, and I want to work on you. And I was like, there it comes again, bubble, bubble. It's just now I can walk, and you want to. So I said, well, I got to pack. Everybody else is packed, and we're leaving tomorrow, and I'm not packed. And started to put excuses, started to put more barriers, right? More barriers. Love is pouring out to me. I just received a prayer, and yet I was trying to control the circumstances. So I said yes. She goes, I'll do it right here. She takes my leg, she starts twisting and manipulating it, and I'm going, hey, what did I say yes to here? But before my very eyes, the swelling that I had was disappearing. And I was like looking at my own body, watching the healing, witnessing the healing. That's me. That's not her leg she's holding, that's my leg. And she said, now walk, normal. I felt like she was like Jesus. Get up and walk. And I'm like, but, and I thought, boy, I can walk. And I kept remembering that moment with her. She was a beautiful person that was just offering love. And so that carried me. There was moments where here was another barrier where I doubted. When the tour director would say, now you won't want to go on this one unless you can really walk. And so I'm going, Charlie, you just go without me. I'll be fine. He goes, I'm not going without you. And it was to look at a castle. And I always wanted to see inside of a castle. What little girl inside of, or child inside of any one of us doesn't want to see what's inside the castle? And so I went. And I could do it. And I didn't even need the cane. And I was just like, I was wrapped and strapped and gooed up with all kinds of potions. But I thought, I could bring it on. Bring on another castle. Take me to the tower. I can do this. Love prevails. Trust. One thing, the last thing that healer did for me in the services that day, because I was starting to, you kind of whine about your story, like where did this begin? And I was telling her, I said, it's kind of started in high school when I wanted to be a song leader, because I couldn't be a cheerleader, because I just couldn't do that stuff. But I wanted to be a song leader, but you had to do the splits. So in order to do the splits, I would throw my leg forward and back and jam myself down. Forward and back and jam over and over on my hard family room floor. And then up and down and snap. And then my knee blew out. Now add 40 years of nursing on this kind of a fragile knee, and sometimes not so good yoga poses for me. So I have this precarious knee. But underneath all of that, I never made song leader, so I was always, not good enough, right? Little voices, not good enough. And she goes, do you still carry that? I said, I don't think so. I've done a lot of, I've been at practitioner classes, ministerial classes. I've been with my people. I said, I don't think. And she goes, well, let's do a little muscle testing. You ever done that, where if something's not right for you, you just can't hold on to your strength? So she goes, just say I'm worthy. And I said, so I got all my, I am worthy, pop. And I thought, that's embarrassing and revealing. And she said, and she turned away. And she turns back to me. She said, say it again. I am worthy. And I could not pull my fingers apart. Awesome. And so I kept thinking, here we are. We all have the debris lying down in our subconscious. It's just there, our life experience, even though that resides within me. There is a greater love, a greater knowing, an absolute divinity that dwells within me as me and is the power of who I am, and I walk in that. And though circumstances come, I will adapt and move with Spirit within me as Spirit allows my body to heal and to make manifest this greater truth, this greater strength. So, healing. You just don't know where or how it's going to be revealed. You can vision, and then you can trust, and then you can allow this healing to reveal its wholeness in you. Because this wholeness within each and every one of you is never damaged. It is never hurt. It is filled with truth and spirit and light. And how do we find that? And now science is showing us it's more in the right brain. This knowing, this connection to the divinity is through the right brain. The right brain is the one that doesn't analyze everything. It doesn't have doubt. It has vision. It has opportunity. It's the dream part of you. And so when you think about this right brain, it is the avenue to the alpha state. So God's always present. God's always present. But I was thinking this morning as Charlie was doing a prayer on our way here, you know, God is always present, but it's almost like those lights that you turn on and there's the dim one, and then you turn it again and it gets a little brighter, then you turn it all the way up and the whole room's lit up. And I thought, we're at these frequencies of this light. The dim light, God's always present, but we've layered it with our doubt, our confusion, our unworthiness. You can name whatever yours might be, if it's there, if it's rising in you as I talk. But then you say a prayer and it gets a little brighter, and then you surrender. And the light is full and bright, and you are surrounded and immersed in this divinity of truth. I absolutely know this and believe this, and it is our mission on this planet at this time to know this truth, to know this level of love, to know and to share with one another, to hold each other when we forget, to keep turning the light brighter. And so this alpha state, this area of our imagination, it is a space that doesn't have to be right. It just knows what's right. It just knows truth. The left brain is that part of our brain that lives and thrives in the material world and the senses. It dwells in the physical being. It helps us because it sorts out detail and gets to the nitty-gritty. But it also develops our polarity and our conflict in our experience. The right brain, though, filled with our feelings, our perceptions, it does not tolerate all the detail. It sees instead the whole picture. It sees not the ant's view, where you're just down in the details, but the bird's eye view. It can see the expansiveness. It can overlook the differences. And it can also see sameness and common denominators. It sees the oneness. Now, so we have this part of the brain, it's all one. Right, left brain, though, there are these patterns, and science has proved that. And then underneath, the subconscious holds a lot of influence. Like I said, when she asked me, are you worthy? And I tried to say, a big blanketed, yeah, I'm worthy. But underneath, there was still the fragileness of my being, of who I thought I was. How do you tap into that subconscious? It reveals itself through your dreams. So you listen to your dreams. You journal your dreams, and you say prayer, and you work on practices of gratitude and forgiveness. And all of this subconscious debris starts to fade in its influence over you, and it's allowing the right brain to send the messages so you have that healing breakthrough for whatever you're looking for in your own self. Ernest Holmes says this, "What is this power we speak of? The belief that we do not have the ability to heal arises out of the mistaken idea that our power does the healing, or that the intellect does the healing. All that the will and the intellect could do is to behold or to watch the process. There is but one healer. This is the Spirit of truth. There is but one life principle. This is God in us. There is but one final law. This is the law of good. There is but one ultimate impulsion. This impulsion is love. We must forever rid ourselves of the idea that there is a personal man who does the healing. We must know that there is not I, but the Father that dwelleth in me. He doeth the work. The divine Spirit is the only actor, the true Savior, the all in all, and now manifesting itself. Being all in all, it has no opposition, competition, or otherness. So I ask you, do you believe that? I could say it, but do you believe that? What gets in the way of your belief? There is the process of emotional freedom technique. And Kathleen Patton worked with me one time on that. And I think it's a brilliant technique. You tap through your body in certain meridians. But you say, even though is the statement you say, even though I feel unworthy, I know I am. And you add the statement of truth. You declare a truth, a powerful truth that overrides the smallness that resides within each one of us. So I ask you, if you were to look inside yourself, where are you contracting? Where are you feeling small? Where is the voice that says, oh, it works for them, but not me? Are you good enough? And really relax with that. Am I good enough? What confines the flow of Spirit in you? Because love is always loving you. It is the invitation to believe that it's possible. What cues are showing up inside of your consciousness that are leading you from this greater self, from this place of deep witness within you? Believe it is possible, and then join others in the knowing that a greater healing is happening when you take refuge in a greater truth. When you take refuge in a greater truth with others, instead of just trying to go alone, it's just like that's the power behind AA and some of those other groups of absolute support. That's the power behind the groups of 8. We all know together, for each and every one of us, this powerful truth. So where is the aversion to the self? How you live today, how you live your day is affecting your tomorrow, and the invitation is to notice, what track are you on? Can you pause? Can you pause in the moment and say, even though, wait a minute, I'm going down that way, wait a minute, I know there's a love that is allowing me to make a greater choice. This awareness and mindfulness is waking yourself up to be more compassionate with yourself. Send this message of genuine forgiveness to the soul, to the cellular level of your being. Take care of yourself with a deeper understanding. Then the hungry ghosts that are pulling on us, that are keeping us small, that are keeping us in those places where we watch others progress further and further, and we bless them on their way, but we're feeling small. Why? Because you're living small. Meet yourself with compassion. As I had met myself a few weeks ago with great compassion, your love poured through me. It was God's love through you, pouring through me, that made me whole again. And I was able to take a journey, and every picture that was taken, I had a smile that was soul deep. And every time I looked at myself, I wasn't shy. Charlie would say, take a picture, and I'd say, because I was so happy. I was so blessed. I was so filled with Spirit that any time, anything that ever challenged any one of us on this journey, we all turned to Spirit, these 8 travelers. At one point, we got separated at the final leg home. It was an awful feeling. The Purnells got left in Minneapolis. The doors got closed on them. We had no way to communicate with them. We all felt really poopy about it because we were all in our seats and they weren't. And we were desperately trying to get the stewardess to open up the doors, to stop the plane, to call the tower. The Purnells were not on the plane. Through all of that worry and that stress were young women's eyes looking back at us. What can we do for you? What can we do for you? We'll do everything we can. We cannot stop the plane, but we can do whatever. Such love, right? Diana's here somewhere, and Roy. Such love. They would love us into a center. So right then we did a prayer to know that the Purnells were loved and safe wherever they were, and we were safe on our journey. And it was so. Love prevailed. The Purnells got home just fine. They even had a better night. They had a better deal than we did, actually. But I'm not bitter about that. But what is possible for you? I keep asking you that. You know, we look at what is cultivating this love, and we're trying to find, okay, this talk is about reducing these barriers. The barriers to this are any kind of fear, greed, anger, jealousy, or pride, right? When we feel those kinds of emotions, we kind of constrict down. We're trying to allow ourselves the opportunity to cultivate attitudes of gratitude and generosity, to move with love through prayer, to look deeply into reality, and to discover truly what wisdom is. So in order to do that, and as I speak these words, anyone speaking from this opportunity is speaking from their realm of understanding. I speak the word God. That might make you contract. What is your word for God? And please supplant that word, that knowing, that truth. Call it love, call it Spirit, call it nature, call it Divine Mother, Divine Father. Call it what you will, but call upon it. Call upon it. Name it. Name it. I read recently a short story in Spirituality and Health, and this book I have, it's called Divining the Body. I love the book. Jan Phillips is the author, and she was about to do a full-on weekend workshop with her book. Her best friend is riding with her. She goes, you know, I'm an atheist. And Jan thought, uh-oh, that's a workshop stopper. And the girl goes, oh, that's okay. I show up most places, and I just listen to what everybody else says, but I don't. And then but Jan couldn't let it go. How do we do this workshop if you don't believe in the divine? And so what she came to, she still didn't know right up till when the first workshop started, and she said, she asked the participants, whatever they said, not to mention the word God, to try to find and discover the truth of their healing, the truth of their well-being, to tap into it without common words, to find a deeper level of truth. Can you see? It makes you dig a little deeper when you don't get to use your surface words. Yeah? When you don't get to use your surface words, and you're invited to not use, it takes everything deeper and deeper. And you have to come up with a new way to describe what you're talking about, to get clear on what it is, and to avoid conceptual words that clamp the spirit down. Because spirit is so much more than that. Watch the moments. It's a physical, tangible feeling. When Spirit and the grace anoints you with the goosebumps, with the dialogue, it's still a small voice saying, I am with you, my beloved. I am with you every step of the way. I am with you. We're going to go there on a journey. I was going to have the gentleman play a song, and it's it's the background music, but it's working to get your brain into the right field. So I invite you to plant your feet solid. I want you to clamp your feet and take authority in your posture, and then to be willing, in the presence of others, to close your eyes, to shut down. You can go ahead and play it in the background. Close your eyes and relax. And then I invite you to relax. Relax. And notice. She said the words relaxed. And I shifted my body slightly, but can I drop another 20% into relaxation? Can I really be here? Yes. In community, I thrive. And love prevails. And in this moment of time, in this moment of healing, I call forth that divinity, that source, that truth, that way. And I relax. And I feel myself in the seat of this chair, my feet planted in the feeling of nature beneath me, love all around me, love dwelling within me. This holy breath is breathing me. We all in this room are partaking of the holy breath, and I am one with love. What rises in me as I go deeper and I take my focal point to the right brain? I allow my eyes to lift their view out of the mundane to the truth. And as I peer into that right realm of vision, possibility, expansiveness, I'm set free. And in the window of my consciousness, I create that window in such a way that I open that window and I allow the little birds of thought that are interfering with this realm of absolute, these little birds of thought, of doubt or despair, insecurity, sadness, I let them free. They fly from the window, and I am in the stillness of the absolute. I am breathing that truth. I am that truth. The Lord of my heart is opening to what is. And I don't need to change anything. And as I dwell in this agape of love, I witness my truth, my source. My breath is deeper. The holy breath I share with others in this room is infusing me with a greater understanding of the divine healer that is ever present. I call forth this healing. I call forth as I allow myself to be a pure channel, a conduit, a ray of this divine light. I am that. I call forward in my language, in my words, the absolute healing. This love, this grace is doing good work through me, as me, for you. We breathe that. A bird of doubt finds its way free. And there we are, deep, seated in the divine, held. Whatever your heart longs for, declare and accept that it is so, right here in this pure space, and listen to the still, small voice of the divine ushering you deeper into your worthiness, into your truth. I am that I am, and I give thanks. I give thanks for this rich, holy experience. We are each anointed with love. To the degree we can accept that love, all is well, all is right. I release this prayer, this truth, this meditation, forever remembering that I am walking in the spirit of love, in me, as me, through me, for me. I am that I am. So be it, and so it is.